Welcome to SOULutions, where men come out of the shadows to testify, giving tips in manhood, honor the codes of integrity, and give out real solutions for soul survival. Today, we have on the show a man who's a poster boy for loyalty, a thinking man, a man of vocabulary, a leader amongst men who focus on details and execution, a lover of anime, and a great friend. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Tony Macaroni, aka my homie Kevin Cohen. What's going on, bro?
Not much. I'm good, man. How you doing over there?
I am doing great, man. Are you ready to drop these gems and give us some words of encouragement and some detailed information today?
I'm ready to talk. If you find gems, that's on you.
Absolutely. All right, here we go. What person did you meet or see that gave you the drive towards the man you are today? Who or what defined you?
Meet or see. It's actually not one person, it's two. All right. And it's my parents. All right. So they're really opposite, two sides of the same coin, right? So at around age 4, my father went to prison. So my mom mostly raised me. My father was still in my life. We communicated, visits, phone calls, letters and all that stuff. So one thing I noticed is that we have a lot of the same tendencies, right? And, it's genetic. We do a lot of the same things just naturally. And most times people have to point that out. So, that's how ingrained it is. Don't even know what's happening. So I realized with his type of thinking, right, and actions, that I'll probably go down that same path. So I was influenced that way to not do that. Does that make sense? And then on the flip side was my mom saying, hey, try this or try that. Now, me and her discuss this all the time now that I have children, ways she could have better motivated me. I didn't really improve her methods. You know what I'm saying? Not to say it was bad, but, case in point, one year I did great in school and my reward was she said, you got to learn the Constitution. I'm like, I got to learn the Constitution. You mean to tell me for doing great in school, I got to do more work in the summer? Right now, again, she was trying to motivate me to want more. I understand that, but I was like, nah. So I made the decision. I'm never going to do great in school again. You know what I'm saying? I'm never going to get straight A's again because I'm going to lose my summer.
Because you don't want to learn the Constitution.
I can't learn like the Constitution. I can't learn that.
What about the Bill of Rights?
I mean, that's what we settled on. I had to learn the Bill of Rights and the preamble. So here it is, the summertime. All my friends outside, they on the stoop. You know what I'm saying? They playing, and I'm just in there, encyclopedia.
You did 4 scores and 7 years ago.
We the people do it, like, man. So that was
in the long run. What did that teach you? What did she give you? What gem was that for you? Her action giving you remedial action and teaching you vocabulary without you realizing it.
I mean, I don't know about vocabulary. I never beat her in Scrabble yet, so. But again, her motivation behind that was to make me want to get more. It made me want less. Like, I don't want to do this anymore, right? And like I said, but on the flip side, my father, hey, I don't want to get that fast buck. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I don't want to get the fast buck. So let me just do some work, enough work so that I'm not at the front of the pack, but I'm not near the bottom.
So it sounds like you learn what not to do from people's actions. You watch other people's actions, learn what not to do. You spoke about being a parent yourself. Now, what implementations are you making that you got from them for your kids today?
So I tried the same motivation technique. I just tried different strategies. Okay.
Yep.
So for instance, they're into Roblox. So like, hey, if you do this work, you get Robux. You in a Pokemon. Hey, if you do this, you'll get rewards. You get a Pokemon card. Hey, matter of fact, what reward do you want? Okay, so you want this Nintendo Switch. Cool. So what are you going to do to get this? Right. So I'm very willing to strike a deal. Right. Hey, if you want rewards, you got to do your work. All right. And what you going to do? And then it's on them.
Striking a deal, man. That is a real thing. But I'd rather them read the Constitution, man. I'd rather them read the Constitution. I think that is a great thing.
I don't know. So I know my oldest. I Dad. So you said if we clean this and we do this, then we get to go outside. But if we do this, can we go down the block? Like okay, like if you want to make a deal, make amendments to the deal. As long as you uphold your end of the bargain, I'll uphold mine.
Absolutely, absolutely. Do you have a vision board?
I do not, but I do have. Maybe it's a vision board. I have a couple of goals written down that I want to do for the year.
Well, if you can give us an apex goal that you achieved already and an apex goal you're trying to achieve today, can you share that with us?
Something I'm trying to achieve is to be debt free by January 1st, 2022. All right, so that's something I'm working on. And like I said, so that's my goal. I have, my debts written down. I have my debts written down, and then I have my plan. Like, okay, I'm gonna put this much to this, and then when this is done, I'm gonna put this much to this. They call it the debt snowball method. But so that's what I have written down. Those are my main goals. Something that I've already achieved. I don't know, man. I'll be honest with you, when I was a kid, I just wanted to make it to 21. You know what I'm saying? I'm living the greatest life I am right now.
You spoke about getting out of debt before
Yeah.
2022, and you said the snowball effect. Could you elaborate on that for those who want to know how you're trying to get out of debt?
Sure. So what you do is you take your debts and you list them down. You list everything down, and you do it from smallest to greatest, right? So then you put all your cash to paying off one thing, and then everything else you do your minimum payment, right? So your credit card, 75 minimum. That's all you pay. Don't pay anything extra. This one 25 minimum. Blah 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 blah. So let's say your smallest debt is 300. Once you get that paid off, your next debt, let's say that's 800, right? So to pay the 300, that payment was $50, and you threw an extra 100 on it, right? So when it comes down to your next debt, you was already paying that 25. Now you're gonna throw the extra 50 on it, that from the previous debt, and plus whatever extra you got. And then when that one's paid off, you take everything that you was going and you put it on the next thing. So that as you get down and start paying your debts off, the amount that you're putting on them are larger. All right. So your first one might be, okay, I can only squeeze an extra 100. But then your next debt, now you squeeze an extra 150. And then the next debt, now you squeeze an extra 225. And you do that until you're done.
Wow, what a domino effect that is. And did you learn that system, or did you come up with that system yourself?
Now I learned that I read a book called the Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey, and I started doing that.
Talk to me a little bit about the book. Like, what else other gems that he have in there for financial literacy is very important to us?
Financial literacy is very important. He has what's called the baby steps. There's 7 baby steps, right? The first baby step is saving $1,000 for emergency, right? Just in case anything comes up. Second step, that's where I'm at right now, is called the debt snowball. And I just explained how that works until you get out of debt. Everything except for your mortgage. All right. The third step is your emergency fund, right? So now instead of that $1,000, you want to save up 3 to 6 months. So if something happens, you have 3 to 6 months where you can just pay everything off. After that, you want to start looking at investing, right? Then, so you want to save like 15% towards investing. So what's 7? 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 is I don't want to get to the line now, but I think that's when you start looking at paying off your mortgage, right? 6 is like, for your kids' college and stuff like that. And then 7 is like, making sure you give. You're very generous with your money. You give to organizations, you give to, people in need, this, that, and the third.
I'm a servant of service.
Yeah. So when doing that, initially it seems very hard, especially saving up that first $1,000. You know what I'm saying? And you have to cut out a lot of stuff. You have to cut out a lot of conveniences, eating out, or you know what I'm saying, just being disciplined. You know what? I'm not going to get these new shoes. You know what I'm saying? The sneakers I have is fine. I'm not going to get these new shoes. The car I have still works. I'm not going to get the brand new off the lot, sign a new lease, $450 a month when the car that I got, is working. And, you make those sacrifices. He says, live like no one else now so you can live like no one else later. So that's the overall thesis of it. Synopsis, I guess.
Well, make sure y'all check out that book by Dave Ramsey. He seems to know what he's talking about. But for those are the people who you think, let me rephrase that. For the people who think, man, I don't have that kind of money to get started. Can you tell us like how you started? Did you have that same frame of mind? Like this might be too much out of my league. Because, people approach things sometimes negatively or just clueless on how to start. So how did you get started with that process mentally?
I have a separate savings account that every time I get paid, money goes there without me even seeing it. Right. So I started doing that. Then you do, maybe odd jobs. You need some help? Yeah, I got you. I'll help you with that. $20, cool, boom, throw that in there. You could do a garage sale or a yard sale, you know what I'm saying? Get rid of your unneeded stuff, sell that, boom, throw it in there. Deliver pizzas, you know what I'm saying? Do whatever you take to get that 1,000. One thing I can tell you is that one thing I've realized is that most people don't need more money. Okay. And I know you like, well, I only make 20,000, da, 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 da. Most people don't need more money. They just need less debt. All right. When you have your paycheck and you're not spending, you know what I'm saying, 200 on a credit card bill a month, and you're not spending, a car payment, and you're not spending a loan from this, and you know what I'm saying, you finance this TV and you finance the, the chair, the couches. When you don't have those debts, you actually do have decent money.
Absolutely.
Right? So it's not always more debt. It's not always more money. It's less debt.
Debt free, the way to be. Absolutely.
Yep.
You have a very strong sense of purpose, I see, with being financially free. But do you tell yourself affirmations in the morning to keep yourself on focus? How do you stay focused and vigilant and not buy stuff?
All right, well, I don't have affirmations, but like on my phone, on my what do you call it? My laptop at home. All right. So like right here. I don't know if you can see it. On my phone. No debt. So that's what, first thing I turn my phone on, no debt. My computer at work, turn it on. 7 income streams, how to do this. Another screen says now I can't remember. There's a no debt, there's the 7 income streams, and there's the one in the stock market. Right, pretty much ways to invest, to get money. So even though I don't say a daily affirmation, this is something I'm looking at every day, to keep me on track.
That, my friend, sounds like about 4 or 5 vision boards you got there for debt free. So you say you don't have a vision board, but that sounds like a vision board to me.
I mean, possibly. I always imagine a vision board. You have your board and the different things that you want to accomplish. And to me, not just accomplish, but not just what you want to accomplish, but hope just anything, For me, it's like, nah, this is what I'm doing. This is my steps. This is super important to me.
Well, most people phones are they have all the stuff in their phone. So that's the new vision board or sticky notes around the house. That's all vision. It's all affirmations and where you want to be in life written down so you can see it to be reminded of your purpose and your focus.
Right, right.
How early did you start goal setting?
Oh man, not early at all. Truth be told, probably not until I was like 33.
Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that. Most of us don't even figure out that we need to goal set for many, many years after 33. What moment brought you to that?
I was looking at my son, and my son, at the time he would mimic me. I remember I was sitting on the floor and I was playing my Xbox and had my legs crossed, and he sat next to me and he tried to cross his legs just like me. And I was like, oh, this is my guy. He wants to be like me. And I was like, you know what? Like, I got to be better. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to be better to give him something better to achieve. So I was about 32, 33. Then I was like, well, I have to teach him financial literacy. And I can't teach him how to be good with his money if I'm not good with mine.
I once read a book. I can't remember the name of the book right now, but it had a story in there. I believe it was a book by Dr. Miles Monroe. And I often quote Dr. Miles Monroe as one of my favorite people to listen to. Rest in peace, Dr. Miles Monroe. He spoke about him and his son getting like a VCR or a CD player or something they got manufacture-wise, a stove or a little mini stove. And they took it out and they plugged it in. And it didn't work. And because he didn't take out the manual and read the entire manual, he said he learned from that lesson because he looked dumb in front of his son because it didn't work. But had he took the time and read the entire manuscript, he would know all the functions and capabilities and be able to answer every question his son had. He would look like a hero. So I think that's exactly what you're doing, engulfing yourself in the things you want your son to learn as far as what you know now.
Right. Absolutely, absolutely. And not just, not just financial literacy. Like, come on, hey, listen to your moms. Respect, respect women. You just all these little things. Clean up after yourself. Present yourself neatly. Do this, do that. So I take all the things that's like what I think would help benefit him and try to teach him anything that'll work that way.
What have you procrastinated on and why?
It's a good question. I actually procrastinate a lot. And I guess mostly because it's not high on my list of priorities, right? One of the things I want to do, like I said, the highest thing on my list is, getting out of debt, following that plan. So, I have a group of friends who, hey, let's look at these stocks, and I'm listening, but it's like, that's step 4. I'm on step 2. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's like I want to, but let me focus on my plan first. So I think one of the main reasons I procrastinate is because it's not near the top of my list. It's something there's things that I want to do, but it's not near the top of my list. So, I don't focus on it. I can tell you one thing I've been procrastinating on is working on. I'm just trying to start a vlog myself, right? Focused on, as you said earlier, anime and music. Things that heavy in the anime. So, why not make money off something I like?
That would be a great show, man. You talk about anime, and I don't see too many people in our culture having big discussions about anime, and we do follow it. So much anime.
So much.
Well, let's give them a backstory. This is my college friend here we have on the show. And we all used to watch anime back in the day. We used to watch Dragon Ball Z, but I didn't know he was into it this much. He is really into anime, and I just wanted to give that perspective. What did you sacrifice so far to be the man you are and your successes?
I haven't really sacrificed anything. My pastor told me something when I was 17, and that's one of the models I live by. He said, delayed is not denied, right? So like I love traveling. I plan on traveling. I don't travel as much as I want. That's not a sacrifice, because that doesn't mean I'm not going to travel, right? It's just that I got certain things I got to do before I can start traveling, right? So, delayed is not denied. Just because you don't get it when you want it, and you might get it later, doesn't mean, you're not going to get it at all.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, when we talk about procrastination, we talk about things you just put off that you think you have time for. But a lot of things have taught us in 2020, you never know when your time's up. So I encourage you to do the things you want to do and travel where you want to travel. You are right. Delayed is not denied, and that's a very powerful gem that you gave. And I think we learned a lot from that statement. Talk to me about your lowest moment. And I just don't want to know about your lowest moment. This is for the people who want to know how you got up, because you could be helping someone today and they could be in the same situation. So talk to me about your lowest moment and how you got up.
Well, that will have to be 2007, when I got hit by a car. I was walking down the street, hit by a car, and hospitalized, couldn't work, couldn't walk, couldn't do anything for myself. Let me see. So that happened in October of 2007. So I didn't walk for like 3 months until, January. Physical therapy's killing me. I tell my wife all the time, like, they finally took that cast off my foot, and I hadn't washed it in months, and it just looked so disgusting. Like, I was like, oh my God, like, I don't even love me with my foot looking like this.
You had the Adam Sandler foot.
Oh, that was worse than that. I mean, I was looking at that joint like, oh, I was like, oh, like this is it. Like I, like I can't. Like, I didn't think it would ever. Honestly, I didn't think it would ever recover. But my wife, she was my girlfriend at the time, and she stuck by me, and that's honestly what helped me up a lot. You know what I'm saying? I like to say, God was like, this boy is about to mess up. Let me show you. All right, pay attention, boy. You know, Granted, he had to hit me with a Honda to make me pay attention, but
God hit me with a Honda. Sounds like a book.
but so again, that's easily the lowest point. I wasn't working, I couldn't work. I'm an extroverted person, so just being cooped up in the bed all day, can't do anything like that. Like, honestly, I would wake up every morning and be like, so what you gonna do? You just gonna lay in this bed all day like a bum, aren't you? Now, mind you, I can't even stand up, but that's how I felt every morning waking up. Like, so you just gonna lay in this bed, you're just gonna be a bum. You ain't gonna do nothing, you ain't gonna make no money, you just gonna lay there. And that really was really hard on my psyche at that point.
How did you come back from that? How did you focus to go to physical therapy? How did you start getting up?
Um I mean, I don't know, I guess it was a process. Um we had to figure out what's the next steps. Okay, so I got to go to physical therapy. Physical therapy was brutal. I had, like I said, my ankle was broken. I had a metal rod on my ankle. I had a labrum tear in my shoulder, so I couldn't use my arms. I hadn't had any strength in my arms. The medicine they gave me took away most of my muscle mass, so I lost like 25 pounds. So I went from like 235, 240 to like 210, 215. Just and But again, I knew it was a process. All right. So first thing we got to do is we got to do the physical therapy. All right. So I did that. Hated it. You know, Doing it wiped me out. Once I come home, like, don't bother me. Just let me lay in this bed. I'm not going to do anything. And then I slowly kept going. Um, you know, my wife, she knowing that I hate to be home, she took me out to the lake, and you know, we always make a joke of it. She gave me this little present, and you know, it was a little bag, and in it was like a penny, and it was like a rock, it was like a tea light candle. And you know, I'm like, yo, is this my survival kit? You about to leave me out here with this survival kit right here? Yo, here's a penny for some money. Here's a rock to protect yourself. You know, it had like a mint. Here's a mint to eat. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, who thinks like that? And then so you know, we laugh about that, you know, but you know, that help was really invaluable.
You can't just tell a story like that and not say what the meaning behind all of those trinkets were.
Um, so the rock, she was a strong in the rock, you know, I'm as strong as a rock, even though I'm broke up, you know, the candle, the candle, the tea candle, uh, you know, it's a light, you know, I help light her life. I don't remember what the peppermint was. And a penny, you know, a penny is good luck. But you know, I'm like, yo, this is like, it feels like you're giving me a survival kit. Like you about to kick me out here
You know,
the lake, and I gotta meet.
it'd be funny if it's like, oh, the peppermint was just for your breath because you was laying in the bed all day. I didn't mean to leave that in there. You want it? That sounds like a pretty amazing woman. So you saying that woman brought you back from the dead?
Not from the dead, but from despair.
That's pretty dark.
Hmm.
Reminds me of a movie I saw once where a man went all the way to hell to get his wife's mind back.
Robin Williams, what is it?
Where dreams may come.
Where Dreams May Come. Yeah,
Great movie.
great movie.
How important is to leave where you're from to develop where you're going in life?
It is. I think it depends on where you're going. Okay, and also what you want to do. Is it, you know, sometimes you may leave because the people around you don't appreciate or don't see your vision, right? Sometimes you may leave because the environment is not conducive to you excelling, right? I can tell you, when I was growing up in New York, there was a group of about 12 of us, 12 of our friends, right? And you know, then I moved to South Carolina, and out of the 12 friends, 9 of us made it. Everybody else fell victim to the streets, right? Out of the 12, out of the 3 that made it, you know, 2 of them was me and my cousin.
Wait. So you said out of the 12, 9 fell victim to the streets and 3
Nine
of you
fell-
survived. Okay.
Right. So out of the 3 that survived, 1 is my cousin, like, you know, who we grew up together. We had the same values. So it was like, you know, again, staying in that environment could have been very, you know, very hazardous. Um, I also think that it's not as important to know or remember where you come from, remember your struggles, and try to help somebody else who's going through some struggles. Maybe don't go through the same things, but you know, all help ain't monetary.
How'd you get to that point to know what your values were at that age?
Again, that goes back to my father. All right, that just goes back to my father. Like, okay, all right, my man over there, you know, he's doing it. All right, you know, he got the freshest, but I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? That's you know, in business, you run a risk assessment. You know, I ran that risk assessment. I was like, I'm not paying that price.
That's something we all should add to our criteria in life. Running a risk assessment sounds, you could do that on anything.
On anything. Yo, do I want to, yo, this light is turning yellow. You know, light just turned yellow, it's about to turn red. You know, let me run the risk assessment. Do I want to take it? Do I want it? I'm gonna stop.
You gotta be fast.
The speed limit is 55. You know, what's the risk limit of me doing 70? You know, you run a risk assessment on everything. You know,
Hey man, you want some Hennessy? No, I don't need that right now. My risk assessment said.
but like I told my wife, she was like, "You drive fast." I'm like, "Listen, man, like I have every urge to still drive 100 miles an hour. Run that risk assessment. I can't afford that ticket."
Wait a minute. So all the men out there, you hear this gentleman here? When you're thinking about doing something creative or extra out the ordinary, make sure you run a business risk assessment. that is clever. I would say that. Let me ask you this question, since we're running a business risk assessment. That I like to ask the guests on our show, and I'm not sure if any, well, maybe one or two. One, Mr. Cam West from The Voice, he gave me a really great answer to this question, but I want to hear what you have to say.
All right.
Did you ever get a sex talk? Who or what gave you sex education?
My mom. She gave me a sexuology 101 book when I was 8.
8 years old?
Yep.
And how did that affect you?
After I flipped through the book looking for all the new pictures, I actually started reading about it.
She gave you a different constitution.
Yeah, she gave me a college, she was in college, so she gave me the joint, and like I said, at first, like, oh, titties, oh, and then
right.
But afterwards, I started reading about it, human sexuality and whatever. One thing she always said was that, again, risk assessment, right? I did the math, right? The math said I should have my kids between 16 and 20, right? If I have my kids between 16 and 20, by the time I am 40, those kids are leaving college out of my pocket. That's what the math said, right? Again, I'm thinking about my finances. That's what the math said. Now, the risk assessment of telling my moms that I got somebody pregnant at 16, like, I didn't want to take that one.
Let's dig a little deeper into that, though. Let's talk about, she gave you a book, but how was the conversations after that? Did she really go into detail, prepare you for what the real risk assessments were? Because I often liken it to people being together because of a child, but if they took the right, precautions, not saying you don't want the child there, but it just changed your life and what you need to be and what you gave up, what you have to give up.
So, we had to talk about, sex, and sex will lead to babies. Don't do it when don't do it when you're young, wait till you're older. And then, excuse me. So then again, I also had the book to determine, like, to look through things, right? So, I'm at 8, I knew what a clitoris was. Like, oh, okay. Oh, so this is super sensitive. So I want to play with this. Got it, so that when I actually started, becoming active, I had a wealth of knowledge before I started to help me make better assessments. So one of the things that, again, this risk assessment, one of the things I did was, like, I would assess a girl, like, yo, if I have sex with you, there's a chance you can get pregnant. All right. Even if I wear a condom, there's a chance. Are you worth me bringing home to my mom's?
I love what she did. She instilled the confidence in you early to not be curious about something you're knowledgeable about. It's kind of like reverse psychology.
Possibly it worked.
It worked. But what I'm more impressed about your mom is her ability to get you to read and read, because that is a gem in life, to read. And many of us do not read. And I am a person who fell straight into that boat of learning differently, not reading. But even if you learn different, reading is an essential piece of your repertoire you need to grow to be the person you want to become, or the person you're trying to find.
I do. I mean, and you're right. I mean, I love reading. Even when you watch, these little, posts on like Facebook or, Instagram or whatever, and they have the news article. nine times out of 10, I prefer to read the article than to listen to you telling me what happened. So,
hey, but you know what? Shouts out to the people that read fast. Even though I don't read fast, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a fast reader. I'm talking about those fast readers, the people you take and you be like, "Hey, man, look at this post." And they go, "Oh, that was good." And be like, "Wait a minute, I didn't even put the phone in your face yet." Oh, I read it. And then you grab the phone, and I'm like, and I gotta read it for like. Shouts out to you fast readers. I low key, I admire that because you guys read so fast it throws me off, and I'd be embarrassed sometimes when somebody passes me something, and I'm like, okay, just taking it in. They was like, oh, okay, I read it. It's done. You readers out there, it's a great skill to harness. Talk to me about fatherhood.
Fatherhood is the
No. I don't want to talk about that. I want to
no,
talk about the
no,
moments.
hold
No,
on.
I want to talk about the moments where you love your kids, but I don't like you right now. Talk to me about the
That's what I'm
patience of being
saying.
a father. Yeah.
Like fatherhood is the hardest, most rewarding experience of my life. Right. And like my youngest, right? When he was a baby and we first got him home, you know, he was in the NICU for about a week. You know, he was a preemie. You know, we finally got him home. He started to fill out, started to gain some weight, and I'm holding him, and he would not look me in my eye. He would not look at me. Now, Dad, oh, you know, that's my partner. You know, I explained earlier, like I said, when I was sitting down just watching TV and playing the Xbox with my legs crossed in the way, you know, in the way he copied me. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that is also rewarding. You know, you pack my lunch. You know, made me a peanut butter jelly sandwich and a Pop-Tart.
Yeah, we're not talking about that. We talking about the times you don't like your son right now. We gotta talk to me about the patience in those moments.
It's a lot of half sentences. You know, why did you just so you just want to can't even get the sentence out, the question out, you so mad. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so okay, so my thing is, how can I discipline you to get the results that I want and make you come up with the idea to achieve those results? Right? Because it's easy to say, you better stop there, I'm gonna get you. Right? Hey, you know, if you don't have your room clean, I'm gonna take your iPad. Right? Or hey, you know, isn't your cousin, you know, trying to call you on your iPad? Where's your iPad? Oh, it's da da da. So what do you have to do to get your iPad back? Oh, I gotta clean my room. Cool. So you know what to do. Right. So it's a lot of or the other day he said, Dad, can we do this? And I looked at him. I gotta clean the floor and clean my room. You're a genius. You know what I'm saying? So you know, you already know what you need to do. Now, how can they clean the floor and then by lunchtime, you know, books, pencils, cups, napkins, plates back on the floor? Like, didn't you just clean this up yesterday? Like, you want to keep doing this every day? But and I tell them, this is the decision you made, right? I didn't make that decision. Yes, you did. You know, you made this decision because you didn't clean up. Now that you didn't clean up, this happened. You know, cause and consequence, action, reaction. All right. So it's rough. It's rough.
What kind of lessons you giving them in words though? What kind of you say, I know you don't use affirmation, but what kind of sayings are you telling them that you want them to remember in the moments you're not around?
So the first thing I try to tell them is don't be afraid of hard work, right? Some things are going to come very easy to you. Some things are not. If something doesn't come easy to you, don't just get frustrated and quit. Don't be afraid of hard work. So I know people like to say work smarter, not harder. I say work smarter, then harder. Find the best way to do something and then do it, you know, go 100% doing it.
Go 100%.
Right. I also, I also try to tell them, like I said, there's causes, there's, action and reaction, you know, cause and consequences. If you do this, something's going to happen. So I need you to think about what you're going to do and what might possibly happen, and then make your decision. It's not working, but I'm gonna keep trying.
It'll work at the right time. It needs to work.
That's my hope. Like, if I keep telling you these things and you let it soak in your spirit, at the time that you really need to do it, it'll come out.
It definitely will, brother. Planting a seed and letting it grow. All seeds need time to water and blossom, and they seem to always blossom. And the leaves always seem to sprout out when the rain is coming to lessen the drip on your back. So it's just so many great things that I see that you're sowing, that it takes a little while, but you got to stick to it, and I admire that.
Thank you. I'm trying, but in the meantime, I'm just keep going with the half sentences. I know you not.
Exactly. Should there be a basic training program amongst men, a level of education given out in our society, like programs for our kids, but outside the school system, outside the library, outside of the church, outside of the community centers? I'm talking about, we're teaching financial literacy, communication, how to change a tie, how to change a tire, gardening, generational wealth building with stock, all that, kids sitting down with the elderly, all that taught at a young age, where the community itself is instilling these values of communication, so we can all at least vibrate on the same level.
I believe that to an extent, but at the same time, I think that's what your father's there. That's your father's job, right? And if your father's not there, then like you said, your grandfather, your uncle, you know what I'm saying, your big bro, right? Now, I do believe that that's why they say it takes a village to raise a child. I also think it takes a village to raise a child, because you need to send them away so you can calm down. You know what I'm saying? So that you can calm down when they mess stuff up. Like, go to your uncle's house, right? But again, that's what that village is. Now, whether that village is centrally located, I don't know.
Well, right? I speak from this terrain. It should be the parents. Devon Stanfield, former guest of the show, said it should be the parents. Right. But parents only spend realistically 3 hours a day with their kids, and the rest of the world takes on the parents have to deal with the turmoil of the new attributes they pick out when they kids leave and come back, right? If we had a community that spoke the same frequency as what you're teaching, but because it was all a general basis, I think that would grow the community even more. It's sort of the same thing you get with discipline back in the early days, where you got disciplined by people in the street. Well, I'm not familiar with all of that, but it was like, hey, you're going to get disciplined by the lady down the house if you're doing something wrong. We had the discipline part right. We just didn't have the financial literacy part right.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. And, financial literacy it's a lot to take on. It's a lot to understand. So case in point, I knew about the stock market, and I knew the basics of it, but I didn't know that I can only use a few dollars. I thought I needed to have thousands of dollars before I can do anything. So, it seemed unobtainable, right? But then now it's like, okay, I know, because I have some more literacy, I know what can be done, and maybe not what can be done, but I know there's more paths open than what was originally taught to us.
What changed that we were able to now purchase stock off apps and things of that nature?
If I'm not mistaken, I think it's one of the rules Obama made when he had to do with the fiduciaries. So at one point, they didn't have to make the best decision for you. right? I don't know if that makes sense. So it's like, hey, I'm gonna take your money and I'm going to invest it. Now I'm gonna make the best decision for maybe me, So instead of me recommending this, I'm going to recommend this because this is going to get me more money. You're still going to make some money, but you would have been better off here. You would have made more here. You would have been in a better place with this. But they did that. Also, it made way so that you can have startup costs without being without having. I think you needed back then maybe I think 100,000 to be a venture, not a venture capitalist, to be an early investor and stuff. Now you can get stuff cheaper. Well, not cheaper, but now you don't have to buy. They used to have what's called minimums. You can buy the stock, but you have to buy 1,000 shares minimum. All right. So yeah, this stock, huh?
If you can explain, I mean, I'm pretty privy to this information, but I would like you to explain it to the audience that may be listening now who don't know about stocks. What is something they can do just to get started?
So you can go to a brokerage firm, and depending on the brokerage firm, depends on how they charge you. You can use apps. We all know that Robinhood has been in the news lately, but then there's other ones, which pretty much do the same thing. Allows you to trade without a bunch of commission fees. So, there's, Robinhood, Sophie, Webull, Acorn, Stash, Cash App. Then you can go with your traditional stuff, TD Ameritrade, E-Trade, Fidelity, Merrill Lynch. Then you can also go with like brokerage firms and high, Johnson, James, and Jones, I don't know, something like that. So, but if you just want to do it yourself, there's a bunch of different things that you can look at now instead of just having to go through that stockbroker before.
Absolutely. Thank you for that information.
No problem.
I want to do a poll with you. You spoke about your wife bringing you back from despair. But this question right here, I want to see if you get this right. There's so many people that don't say this word when I ask this question. And there's nothing wrong because this is subjective towards you. But I just wanted to see what you say or what your reaction is when I tell you this word. If you can give me your top 3 criteria in a woman, what would it be? And I guarantee the one that I have will not be in your top 3. I hope
but like you said, that's subjective. People have different.
It is subjective. Absolutely. Right. This is the fun part for me.
Right. So one thing that was super important was I had to be a good cook because I'm very rarely going to cook. Right. You know what I'm saying? You can have a 10-pound filet mignon in there. Word. I got to cook. Let's go to McDonald's. Right. So that was very important. Second thing, peace. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need to be having a headache or be frustrated or just nagging me for if it's legit, I can understand it, but don't nag me for things that's not legit. So being my peace is very, very important. Lastly, you said 3, right? So
you want a woman the criteria, a woman that can cook, a woman who is at peace, and the third one is
not just at peace, but also gonna be my peace.
Oh, be your peace. Okay, yeah, okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Okay.
All right. And I needed somebody intelligent, man. I can't be around nobody stupid.
Wow. Shouts out to Tony Macaroni. He got it on the third one. Intelligence is the word I was gonna use.
Listen. Remember I said, that the risk assessment I used to apply to chicks. Can I bring you home to mom's? Right? Listen, I passed up on a lot of fat asses because these chicks was dumb. Right. I'm sitting there like, yo, if I can't have a baby. Like, oh my God, like no, like you too stupid. So that was very important to me.
How much are you focusing on communication? How much are you trying to understand that love language of intelligence, a peaceful woman, all the things you want in your criteria. How much are you trying to understand those things so you can
Well,
speak that language?
as far as the love languages, I know hers, and I don't neglect any of them. But again, I try to cater more to the one that she speaks the most. And I'll be honest with you, it's a little selfish on my part. But it's like, listen, if I'm doing this, what you like, you're going to keep leaving me alone.
Wait, so we're establishing more deals. That's what we're doing.
We're doing, but it's like, hey, you enjoy, I'm doing this. Hey, like, she likes to talk.
Well, break down what the love languages are for those who are probably hearing that for the first time.
All right, so you have gift giving, you have quality time, you have physical touch, you have words of affirmation, and what am I missing? Words of affirmation, gift giving, quality time, and actions.
Acts of service.
Acts of service. There we go. Acts of service.
Yeah.
All right. So you break it down. Acts of service is, hey, I did this for you to make this easier for you. All right.
So which one is yours?
Hers is quality time.
No, I said yours.
For me, physical touch.
I should have bet it, because listen, you're not the first person to talk about the 5 love languages here, right? Mm-hmm. But a lot of men lately have been stumping me because I said all men have physical touch, but a few guys, Brother Anthony, Mr. Devin Harrison's, all said they like their quality time. But also they all spoke that love languages always change throughout time of being. But I didn't even realize that they would change.
They changed. So when I first met my wife, her top thing was physical touch. But then it changed to quality time. Mm-hmm. So, for instance, I know when we get in the car, she's going to tell the kids, hey, shut up, I'm talking to daddy.
And then you say, after we had this conversation on this drive, you better leave me alone.
No. But for instance, like, hey, I'll sit down and I'll watch a Hallmark movie with her, right? Mm-hmm. We all know all Hallmark movies are the same. Right? So like, I've seen one, I've seen all of them. And sometimes she laughs. So what's going to happen? I tell her this is going to happen, and then that happens. But I know that means a lot to her. So there's times where I will sit down and I will watch maybe 2 or 3 Hallmark movies in the same day. All right. But then on the flip side, when I'm in the room playing my Xbox, I gave her quality time. She lets me play my Xbox.
Absolutely. Just got to respect each other's space and continue to grow in those regards. Mm-hmm. That is a good compromise. We talk about leaving a legacy, but we mostly ignore major steps. Do you have a will?
No.
Talk to me why you don't have a will. Are you scared of the conversation, or you feel like you don't have anything to leave behind?
No, the person who was supposed to do it didn't do it.
So what is holding you back now? What are you procrastinating on, and why?
I don't know. Like I said, for me, it was like, hey, you said you're going to do it. I said, cool. We said at the time, move to Atlanta. I'm like, okay. So, and it's like, okay, well, I don't know. But, I know that my insurance policies, they're listed as the beneficiaries. My 401k is listed as the beneficiaries and all that stuff. So really, it's just my possessions, which...
You can't just say, it's a big deal. When I was talking to Mr. Cameron Wesley, a former guest of the show, and he spoke about his cultural counterparts, how they do things like take out life insurance on their parents to secure generational wealth. How do you feel about that? Why do you think we don't do that as a culture?
Probably because we're not taught that part of financial literacy. Right? So for us, that's seen as more of an emotional thing, an emotional conversation or subject to go through, versus this is financial, and this will this is not just like, again, not just setting, not, this is not for you. This is for your kids. This is for, your grandkids versus, like I said, that's an emotional conversation we're not ready to have versus being a real financial thing. I think if more people realize that it's a financial thing more than an emotional thing, we can flip that script.
That it's an investment.
Right.
Why do you think we're scared? Why do you think emotionally we're scared to have those conversations? I mean, death is the obvious one, but what gives us the reason to fortify that? I often liken it to certain cultures being oppressed or coming from impoverished situations.
I don't know. I think death is the main thing. Like, you don't ever want to. You don't ever want to think about, your loved ones dying, and not being there for you. So it can be an easy subject to avoid and pretend that, it's not there and it's not going to happen. But again, that's the wrong way to go about things.
Absolutely. I got a question for you. And again, there's no wrong answer, it's subjective, but I want you to give me your answer and tell me why. As a husband, would you rather have a great woman or a great wife?
I'm not sure I understand the difference.
Is there?
I don't believe so. Can't be a great wife unless you're a great woman.
So which one would you rather have?
Well, I'll take the wife because that gives me both.
Okay, explain, because there's no wrong answer here, right? This is subjective to what you need. Some guests say a wife could be catered to for me, but they want a woman that's for the world. And some men said they can take a wife, but is she catering to everything and me and not giving me enough time? So it's always custom towards how you are. So explain. You said you want the wife. Please explain.
Well, based on your definition, how you be a good woman? You belong to the streets. You belong to everybody. You can't be a good woman belonging to everybody. Huh?
Hey, that's your perspective, and you're sticking to it.
Right.
Validation from your partner. It's like you win a championship when you meet the right woman. But Mr. Kevin Cohen, do you defend the title? And what I mean by that is, are you still doing all your 5 love languages? Are you keeping yourself up? Are you competing with the best versions of yourself to be that guy that's like, oh man, that's my guy right there?
I'm about 70%.
Just 70%.
About 70%. I'll be honest with you. I still do the love languages. But again, like I said, I try to mix them up. Right. I'll bring her random, here's your favorite candy. Here's, I got this for you, I try to help with the boys more, but I don't help around the house as much. But then sometimes I will,
You got to give them some surprises so they appreciate it. Let me stop.
That's right. Can't if you do it. As a matter of fact, this is funny though. One of my coworkers, he was trying to help around the house more. So he was like, he would go home during lunch break to cook for the kids, right? And then, and he said, when I first did it, I was like, oh, thank you. You helped me out so much. Oh, I appreciate that. And he says, so I'm at work and we have this meeting and I couldn't go home. And he's, where are you? Why did you come do this? Like, wait, hold on now. 2 months ago, oh, this was so great. Thank you. Now you expect it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, now you expect it. So, you got to keep them. You
got to keep them guessing.
Can't do everything all the time. You got to spread it out so it's appreciated.
If you can give yourself some advice on how to get to 100%, what would you tell them?
Make a decision and do it. right? So a lot of times, you know, as you know, I sit there and I just think of things all day, right? And when I say things, I think of just things. Okay, how can I make money? I saw a toy. Is there any way we can flip that toy and make money off that? You know, oh, that's a nice car. Can I build my own car and sell my own cars? Like,
Well,
I don't know how to.
but I was
No,
referring to.
no. I'm getting there.
All right.
So a lot of times it'll be something like, hey, you know, you was thinking about doing that. Why don't you get up and do that? Oh, well, I can also do this. Oh, wait. But I can also do this. But should I do this? So, you know, like I said, make a decision. Make a decision. Hey, forget 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just choose one and then do it. That will help me. That can help me get to 100% instead of just looking at all the things I want to do.
And I'm talking about 100% you defending the title. That's what I was talking about.
It's the same thing.
It's
the same thing.
Make a decision.
Hey, make a decision. You know what? I think I should do 10 push-ups. I'll do them later. What I'm gonna do? What I should do is go and let me go. Let me go shave. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So push-ups and shave. I go shave. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's still making. I still comes down to the same thing. I got to make a decision of what I want to do and then do it.
Make a decision, eliminate, and make another decision. If you got 4 things to do, you can knock off each one at a time, right?
Right.
Instead of looking at like, I don't know which one to do because I'm gonna do 10% of each one, and then now you ain't got really nothing done.
Right. That's exactly how it goes.
Exactly how it goes for me sometimes as well, and that's something I'm building with. I came up with something called operating at 100%. And what I mean by that is I came up with 5 categories: purpose, health, confidence, money, and knowledge. Purpose, meaning you're living in your purpose. Health, meaning eating right, working out, praying, meditating, the things you need to keep yourself balanced. Confidence, you're doing it without any fear, intimidation, or any threatening nature, period. Money, you made a little money, you invest a little money, saved a little money today. Knowledge, you took in some new knowledge and information. Purpose, health, confidence, money, and knowledge. Out of those 5 things, all totaling 100%, 20% each. Mr. Kevin Cohen, within the last 24 hours, how much of 100% have you been operating out of?
Purpose, health, confidence,
money, knowledge.
Money, knowledge. Knowledge, money, confidence. So 60.
60% on everything total.
Yeah.
How do you get to 100, sir?
Going to the gym. That'll give you another 80. And
you 0 on health? 0?
Yeah, I'm 0 on health, man.
Hey man, you got a steak in the kitchen, man. Let's go to McDonald's.
No, because that steak ain't cooked. You still got to cook it.
You got to cook it.
That's the problem. You know, if I had to choose between cooking and making a peanut butter jelly sandwich, I eat a peanut butter jelly sandwich 4 days, 5 nights a week.
Wow. You got to stop, man. We got to upgrade ourselves. At least, you know what would help if you wrote down a list of foods that you like that are healthy, and then every time you get hungry, you go look at that list and pick something off of it.
Yeah, that would. But I follow the path. I'm like lightning, electricity. I follow the path of least resistance, man. If I open the refrigerator and the Tupperware of the leftovers is left up and I got to make the plate, or open the refrigerator and it's like, oh, well, this is right here. I'm going to grab whichever one's the easiest, the path of least resistance.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. You are now part of the Silhouette Boys Club. It is people like you who move in the shadows to help people like me shine. Now, before you go, I would love to get a referral from you to see who you would love to come on the show and drop these gems. And not someone that we know. I want someone outside of our circle that I can bring in to talk this conversation of manhood.
You know, I think my coworker Tim, he'll be a good
Mr. Tim, I hope you connect us so we can continue to grow this conversation in manhood. Now, Mr. Cohen, is there anything you want us to know about you today? Any social medias you'd like to give away?
Nah, I just want to give the only gem I was thinking about. Some people say speak things into existence, or you you believe in God, speak things into existence, or just put it out in the universe. I just want you to know that that's very true. What you think, what you believe, how you act will come back to you. Delayed is not denied.
Delayed is not denied. Boy, that pastor dropped the gem on you.
What?
For those listening, you can reach me at SOULutionsformen.com to be a guest on the show, and at Sheen1 on all platforms. Let's continue this conversation on Facebook, Instagram, or Clubhouse, or Twitter. Anywhere you can reach me, we can grow together. Now, we're going to end with a quote from Dr. Miles Monroe. True success is not measured by how much you have done or accomplished. It's not compared to what others have done or accomplished. True success is what you have done compared to what you could have done. In other words, living to the maximum is competing with yourself. It's living up to your own standards and capabilities. Success is satisfying your personal passion and purpose in pursuit of personal excellence. Question of the day, question of your life. Are you maximizing your life? Ladies and gentlemen, this has been SOULutions.